You were wondering maybe he was going to change his mind tonight. You were wondering maybe he had something else to do. Maybe instead of coming on here on the platform that he helped build in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, maybe he was going to confront the big boss, TIP. Well, we'll talk about him. We got plenty to say about him. We'll get there. We'll also maybe talk about what happened a couple of days ago when I saw a Tyrant King and a King of the West on here. And maybe we'll even talk about a guy coming on here tomorrow. And it's almost kind of homecoming weekend on Sportswire Radio. Yesterday, we heard from this guy who's a resident rock star who returned to a platform he helped build. He was the first, after all, rock star to come on here. Before, well, this guy, Josie Scott, from this band Saliva. Yeah, you've only heard of Batista and Chris Jericho's alternate song and the ending credit to Spider-Man and this other guy, Nikki Sixx, Motley Crue. Small potatoes. Then you've got this guy here, who's arguably one of the founding members of where we are today in this platform. And then we'll sort of close out the middle of the lineup with a guy who used to be the most controversial figure in wrestling history, but maybe is less controversial and is almost PG. But we'll get to that later on. But we've got a lot to talk about because our guest has been in the ring since we last spoke with him. He has certainly done a lot when it comes to Omega Championship Wrestling, and he's going to talk about that OCW Delta Championship. Plus, I've got something for our guest, but since he hasn't formally been on here in a matter of weeks, maybe one of the longest in-between breaks he's ever had on Sportswire Radio, but it is now time to welcome him back home and give him that introduction. As in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, and maybe we'll even have Joe Elliott here on Sportswire Radio one of these days. But I see the chat is waiting for it. Our guest is waiting for it because there can't be no other way to continue the homecoming weekend here on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one cable sports show, a man that is one of the founding fathers of promo wrestling and today's backyard wrestling circuit, with over 4 decades in the books, and a man that boasts over 125,000 followers on social media, a man that is multiple times in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame as the newest member of the OCW roster, because there can't be no other way to introduce him as his name simply put, the nemesis, the Tyrant King James you doing? And welcome home.
It sure is glad to be back home. And you know what, Tom? To
Sir.
celebrate coming back, I'm going to pop open this special Halloween edition of Angry Orchids Hard Cider. They're not a sponsor of James Taylor, but this is the Jason Voorhees Bloody Orange flavor. So we're going to try this. Toast to you with Sportswire.
So kind of you to do that. Obviously, Halloween season, we are now in the thick of it. We are 20 days away from Halloween. And you, James Taylor, this is your season. And we'll, I'm sure, talk plenty about that. And I'm sure you'll be even back here before Halloween. But it is so good to formally see you here on Sportswire Radio in a platform you helped build. I mean, arguably, we had on one of the biggest guests that we've ever had on here in the last week. The front man, the original voice, the only voice, as a matter of fact, of this band, Saliva, Josie Scott, a man that performed one of the most iconic movie soundtrack songs, really, of all time, and Hero, Spider-Man, alongside Nickelback frontman Chad Kroeger, also Batista's entrance song, Chris Jericho, and the Dudleys, and you helped make that happen, and it's so good to see you back here formally, sir.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That song that he did for Chris Jericho back in 2002 was called "The King of My World." And it was one
Yes,
of my
I used to
that
listen
was a
to it.
very
I used to listen
badass
to it.
song.
That
Yeah,
was, I think, Survivor Series 2002. We came out to that for.
that's right. They were actually in
listened to it.
Madison Square Garden that night.
And how do I know that? Because growing up in Brooklyn, I had the CD player and I listened to
Mhm.
that song and going to school. And I told Josie Scott, boy, I wish that Chris Jericho would have came out more with that. And will you perform that the next time you come live my way? And he chuckled and then talked wrestling. So I'm glad you felt the same way, sir.
Yes, sir. Man, now you gotta get Chris Jericho on here. Can you imagine that?
Well, we did have Nikki Six did share my clip, and we got 27 or 28,000 impressions. So we're getting there,
Right?
getting closer in baby steps. But James Taylor, there is so much to talk about here on homecoming weekend of Sportswire Radio, and I want to talk about it. I want to set the tables for him. I'm going to show the match here in a minute. And James Taylor, talk to me. Because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you most certainly helped build Sports Wire Radio to get us to the one and only Josie Scott. What is going on between you and this guy who's a big boss, TIP, the OCW Delta champion?
Well, anywhere you're going to go in this world, especially in any type of business, especially the wrestling world, Tom, any real wrestler would know when you step foot into any single place, you want to go after, if you got a set big enough, you want to go after the biggest dog you can find. And the biggest face, the biggest guy that's got the loudest bark to me is a guy by the name of the Big Boss TIP. And that man has the OCW, the Omega Championship Wrestling Delta Heavyweight Championship. And I decided to call the man out. I didn't say I was going to have a match with him. I didn't say that it was going to happen regardless. I said that I wanted a piece of him. I called him out. He accepted the challenge, and I guess the powers that be, Tom, decided to put me into a number one contenders power ranking match, a fatal four-way match in my debut at OCW. And I'm pretty sure you know about it. Some of the people in the world know about it. But let's just say those guys had no idea what was coming because I came full force right into that ring, beat the hell out of everybody, and walked out the number one contender. And now you're looking at the guy who's going to face the big boss TIP for that Delta Championship.
Now, you've done a lot in your amazing career. It's 4 decades in. You've been a social media darling, 125,000 plus followers. No question, you've done a lot. But this is the big boss TIP. This is a man that has been very impressive in what he's done. And all of a sudden now, you've walked into a situation and you may be the Tyrant King. You may be a founding father of promo wrestling, the backyard wrestling circuit as we know it. But is this too much for you that you can bite off in this Big Boss TIP?
Sometimes it's like I ask myself, is it too much for me to handle? Sometimes I almost wish that I could find something that would be too much for me to handle when it comes to the
Hmm.
wrestling world. But I do not back down from any challenge like that. I do not back down from any man that decides that they're going to be the big top star of their promotion when it comes to something like OCW and the Big Boss TIP. I'm pretty sure some people have already seen the footage, but I got right in that man's face and let him know who the Tyrant King in all of wrestling is. And I sent my message to him directly. He did have a response, and I heard what he had to say. I guess we're just going to have to wait a couple of weeks before we see exactly what happens. But one thing I'm not scared of the man.
You're not
I
scared,
don't
but
fear that man.
I'm gonna first of all show the footage of you returning to the ring in OCW. But
Let's
are
do
you
that.
sure you're not going to regret this? Because, as you, I'm sure, are aware of, Sean Jovi was here yesterday. We were talking about a guy that you've been in the ring with. You may refer to him as Kyle Reese. And we were talking about jealousy. And we were talking about the what ifs with Sean Jovi and in his career, obviously, in a place you've wrestled in the IMF. But I almost have to ask the same question between you and the Big Boss TIP. Is this something that you're going to regret going down a road? Maybe going down a dark road with a champion as impressive and as boss like in the Big Boss TIP?
It's probably going to be a tough match, probably one of the toughest matches in my career.
I would think
And,
so.
I'm looking forward to the altercation because it's going to be a chance for me to prove to the world that I got what it takes to go toe to toe with a Hall of Famer like the Big Boss TIP in all of the South wrestling, period. But regardless of the fact, I'm there to prove myself. I got to prove to myself, really, do I got what it takes to hang with guys like this? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I do it. I prove to the world what I can do and what I'm going to bring to the table right here in this Fatal 4-Way match alone.
Well, we're going to find that out, and we're watching James Taylor's what's going to be debut in Omega Championship Wrestling. We want to thank OCW for allowing us to show the footage. You can follow OCW on Facebook. You can also check their YouTube channel out. And wait a minute! I mean, he's there, and he's there, and that's the nemesis, the Tyrant King, James Taylor. There can't be no other way, boy. And he's got looks like a phone, and and obviously fans taking pictures of it because everybody recognizes you on TikTok and YouTube. James Taylor, you have arrived. You have returned to wrestle in a ring for the first time in about a year. Boy, James Taylor, there can't
10
be.
months.
I said about a year. About a year.
Yep.
About a year, and it's time flies when you're certainly as busy as you have been, and it's the first time in almost a year you're back out there, and there you are.
Yeah, there I am. So I'm sitting there, and they put me in a fatal 4-way match against these guys who are potential number one contenders. The winner of this match, there's only one pinfall that needs to be made or a submission. And the winner of this becomes the number one contender to, well, you know who? Big Boss TIP's
Big
Delta
and James Taylor,
Championship.
you're already kicking that turnbuckle because
Yeah.
you are obviously
Well,
turning it up.
old boy right there put something right there and made it real slick for me. So I
Ooh.
decided to talk some trash to him. And that's Skylar Marvelous. Skylar
Oh
Marvelous is a
man.
psychopath.
And there you are leaving the ring, the veteran James Taylor leaving the ring, and all of you are leaving this ring. And boy, the mind games start off here. That OCW locker room and your opponents really, they just aren't trusted you because there can't be no other way.
That's right. If you need to fast forward like a minute and a half or so, you more than welcome can. But this is Mr. Smackums coming out. This is the guy I got. He's a a hell of a charismatic superstar himself. He's definitely a fan favorite. He's up there with the ranks of somebody like the big boss TIP. This guy right here is somebody that I look forward to maybe having a one-on-one with eventually.
Absolutely,
But
from Utica, Mississippi, beautiful Utica, Mississippi, and Mr. Smackums is definitely smacking those abs. He's smacking himself around, and yeah, that's what he is apparently. But the OCW faithful is looking on, and there is some people cheering, some people figuring out what on earth am I seeing, but ultimately the fans seem to be kind of behind him. And you have your work cut out for you. Let's just put it that way.
well, these are seasoned guys in the ring. They've been in the ring pretty much every other week,
And you
you know,
haven't been in
for
10
over a
months. The
year.
last time you were in a ring, you were wrestling for a championship that we've talked about at length. But it's been 10 months. It's been 10 months since you've been in a wrestling ring. Your opponents, in this particular case, while you're all veterans, they have the advantage here. You're in unfamiliar territory. Really, James Taylor, maybe for the first time in your career, at least in recent memory, I mean, you're the one that's the inexperienced one, as crazy as this sounds.
It might seem that way, Tom. Inexperienced in OCW, sure. But inexperienced in a wrestling ring, period, no.
But compared to these men, and
If
compared,
anything, I'm ahead of these guys. We all have, other than Skylar Mars right there, but Mr. Smackums and Jimmy Hayes, the old guy with the
Jimmy
tie-dye
Hayes,
shirt on, they've got over 2 decades of experience themselves. So this
absolutely.
was definitely some veterans that were in the ring. Of course, my first meeting with all three of them, and I'm here to basically make myself known to the
And
OCW
they got to be
universe.
upset, and they got to be looking to make an example out of you because you've come into their company. You've come into a company that they've been regularly a part of, and you've just walked in here and come into a match that they certainly have been looking to, and I have no doubt that they're going to look to take the outsider in yourself and maybe make you an example.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to try and do whatever they can to get the job done. And of course, they're probably going to come right after me whenever they get a chance because they're going to say, hey, this is the new blood. This is the new guy. We got to make sure he knows he's not welcomed here. And of course, they're not going to welcome me there. They don't want me there. I wouldn't want me there. But that's, I'm all business, Tom. I'm there for business. I'm there to show who in the hell the Nemesis James Taylor is.
Well, you
See, we
better
got this
because
little.
you may have the 125,000 plus followers on social media, but this is their house here in the OCW arena. We can tell that the OCW faithful really doesn't know what to make of this. And you're looking around, and obviously Jimmy Hayes is looking around, and this is just going to be a war. You
Well,
may have been in the ring with some of the greatest underground stars of this generation, but these men certainly look to make an example out of you, sir.
yeah. So we're trying to test our strength right here, and we're kind of filling the water out. And looks
Oh,
like we
wait a
have a
minute.
little.
1, 2. Okay, just barely a 2. But wait a minute. 1, 2. Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2. Ooh, 2.5 there. And then James Taylor comes back in here, and James Taylor does of his own. 1, 2. James, you should have climbed and got the rope there, but you missed
I
the rope,
should
and
have,
you.
but I didn't get a chance to. Tom, he slipped out from under me.
Yeah, you tried. There can't be no other way. But obviously, James, you are certainly in for a match that we've seen you in multi-man matches, and this hasn't quite been the start in other matches you've had here, certainly in the underground wrestling circuit. And boy,
You
this
see
is
what
certainly
that
one.
idiot just did? He thought it was a battle royal, and he threw me over the top rope. It's like, dude, this ain't no battle royal. This is a fair
Well,
fight.
I guess maybe he wants to go back and watch the footage, and maybe he'll think differently. I don't know, but Jimmy Hayes and Mr. Smackums obviously showing a sign of mutual respect. These two warriors going out there and getting ready to clash, and you can see the OCW fans behind them. And boy, Mr. Smackums is just rock'em sock'em, and he's sacking him here, and he's showing his strength. But Jimmy Hayes is the veteran. Jimmy Hayes has certainly been in this sport for decades, and he's going to show him who's the boss. He's going to show him here who's the leader. He's going to show him who's the locker room leader, as a matter of fact, and he's got the strength. Listen, he may be up there in father time, and he may even make you look like a young whippersnapper, but Jimmy Hayes is still got it. He has still got it, and there you are out there outside, and you got to get back in that ring, James Taylor, because you may be out there, but Mr. Spackums and Jimmy Hayes are definitely rocking socking them each other.
Yeah, they're tearing each other up right now. I'm over there discussing what I'm going to do to Skylar Mars right to his face, and the fans can't seem to understand what the hell's going on when it comes to that because the guy.
Well, they don't know what to make of you. You've just come into their company. You've shown up, and I mean,
watch that ring post. Watch what's about to happen when I throw him into that ring post.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I've seen you in Iowa. I've seen you in retracted companies and companies we can't mention here, but I haven't seen that. That was definitely, that was some heavy metal, you might want to say. That was some new metal that even that Josie Scott might be proud of there. Quite a rock star move from you.
And now here's where I start leaving my mark, Tom.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy, the sheer strength of the Tyrant King, showing why he still's got it after 4 decades in this sport. And, boy, look at that leg drop there. The veteran Taylor showing his abilities, but Jimmy Hayes is not going to let this go here, and he's going to certainly make him. And, obviously, Jimmy Hayes may be a distant relative of the legendary Michael P.S. Hayes, but Jimmy Hayes is showing him who's the veteran, who's the leader, and now James Taylor is definitely feeling that, and there can't be no other way. But, wait a minute there.
He wasn't enough to get the job done.
But Mr. Smackums is going, he's going up to the high rent district. And we know what this is here. We might want to bleep out what's going to happen because that's that shot there. Oh, man. Boy, I hope he wore one where you know what. And I certainly would be, if he's not going to wear one of those, is going to be feeling that for a long time. But James Taylor, you are certainly dizzy. And you have to come back up, and Mr. Smackums, you're fighting him, and you're getting back in there.
Watch how hard I throw him in this turnbuckle.
Man!
The biome.
That was definitely, a heavy metal-like move once again from James Taylor, but Mr. Smackums is a tough guy in his own right, and he gets a count, but not quite enough. Not quite enough there. Definitely not quite enough. And click, click, boom. There was James Taylor and Mr. Smackum trying to get moving each other. Yeah, click, click, boom. Definitely, we are on the radio here on Sportzwire Radio. We'll turn that up. But Jimmy Hayes and James Taylor are going at it here. Going at it like the veterans that they are. And you can see what these two men are doing here as a part of Omega Championship Wrestling. You can follow Omega Championship Wrestling on YouTube and Facebook. And we got that dance. It's definitely, listen, he's definitely dancing to the music here. And that's your disease coming up if you don't like that dance move. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. James Taylor finds a way to break that pin up. And James Taylor is out there still on the outside ring post. And James Taylor, can you come right back in there like you're supposed to? And
I'm about to. I'm just dealing with the old man on the outside.
Well, that old man is certainly. And wait a minute. Oh, clever neck breaker there. Clever neck breaker from Mr. Smackums. And wait a minute.
All right. I'll take care of him.
James Taylor, you've got him right where you want him, and almost a cross body, and another one there. James Taylor's down. He's down. He's more down here than we've seen him in Iowa and retracted companies. And man, what a move! 1, 2. Oh, 2 and 7/8. 2 and 7/8. That one was this close, James Taylor. Close.
He needs more than that to get the job done.
Well, you came a long way. And you weren't going to go out like that. And boy, wait a minute. Stutter. Mr. Spackums is down. Cover, count, ref, 1, 2. Wait, he's got the rope. Smart move by Mr. Smackums. This match is not over yet. James Taylor, you thought you had him, but not so fast. Not so fast there, ladies and gentlemen, because James Taylor, you didn't get to make your opponent rest in pieces just yet. But obviously, James, you're down. You're definitely feeling that pain. And Jimmy Hayes is back right where he wants his opponent, and he's looking to get the pin, looking to get that victory, that very important victory, an elusive victory for all of you here in this match. and Jimmy's down, but something tells me, James, you're you're gonna be getting ready to come back up here in a nice little move there, nice little side kick to the head, and
Yep.
Jimmy Hayes might be getting ready for an early bed. But wait a minute, James Taylor, you find a way in the nick of time, but 1, 2, not so fast. Close but no cigar, and I don't think anybody here is smoking cigars. But Jimmy Hayes is down, but not quite again, James. You
I
just
said
held
no.
onto his ring boot, and you just kind of reminded him that that's not going to be the way it's going to go. And another clever punch, and well, you got one for good measure. And Mr. Smackums goes back right up to the high rent district, and we're waiting for it. And Jimmy, hey, listen, you all are playing Ring Around the Rosie. That's what I'm getting here. It's Ring Around the Rosie, but you
That's why
are
they call
up.
it a fatal 4-way.
You are up, and your opponents are down, and you are pulling Jimmy Hayes by the hair, and you are definitely looking for some offense. You were looking to quote Redman, it's time for some action. And we're about to see some action here very, very shortly, but you got one for good measure. And Jimmy Hayes, let's say what, the sheer strength of Jimmy Hayes, you have been in there with some of the greatest in the underground, but the strength of Jimmy Hayes, just, I mean, you can just see what this man bring to the table. And yeah, you might want to say, wait a minute. Oh, James Taylor, click, click, boom. You ain't no superstar there, but you did find a way to not quite walk alone. James Taylor, you just, let me tell you something, James Taylor, you were fighting. You have come a long way. You have come a long way, and that would look like an eye rake, and the Tyrant King uses his veteran skills of 27 plus years in our sport, 27 years, and James Taylor, you are talking with the ref for a minute, not quite the move we would expect from the legendary nemesis, and you paid for that, that's for sure. And Jimmy Hayes is even going up on top. Boy, Social Security, hopefully you didn't see that one. But it looks like it's over.
It could be over. Double axe handle.
It could be over. And it looks like it's about to be. Mr. Smackums is getting up, and I think it could very well be the end. And what sweet chin music, and that's not the way. But wait a minute, Stunner! 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 They're fighting him. Come on, 1, 2, 3, and James Taylor has come out of nowhere in his first match in Omega Championship Wrestling and has pinned Jimmy Hayes with over 2 decades of in-ring experience. James Taylor has defied the odds and has shocked the OCW faithful, the nemesis James Taylor. Oh, Stunner for good measure. What's up with that, James Taylor?
He was in the wrong place, wrong time, Tom.
James Taylor. That's not the nemesis we know. Boy, never trust the rattlesnake or never trust the nemesis or Tyrant King. And you have come in here and this shocked OCW faithful doesn't know what to say. And you and Mr. Smackums, it's a, wait a minute. Why do that to Mr. Smackums? Mr. Smackums didn't deserve that, James Taylor. James Taylor, you may want to show who's boss here at OCW. But you may be leaving your mark. This isn't the underground. This is OCW. And I'll tell you what. You may have come in. You came. You went. You saw. You conquered. But James Taylor, boy, you are definitely going to have a bullseye on your back after what you did to your opponents just now here. We watched it. Your first match in OCW. You were successful, but I don't know what to make of it, and these fans here in OCW and Mississippi are definitely just as shocked as we were, and big victory tonight that we got a chance to watch, and I just, some of this, I don't know what's going through your mind, but you, I guess, showed your opponents who's boss, I suppose.
I definitely did. I wanted to let them know exactly what I'm bringing to the table and that I'm going straight to the top. I'm going straight to the big boss TIP, and I'm going to take his little Delta Championship home with me. And it's going to stay with me for a very long time.
You said the big boss TIP. That's rather interesting. You mentioned his name, And I was kind of surprised, as a matter of fact, that you mentioned him. But before I do that, I do want to plug Omega Championship Wrestling because they have a YouTube channel. And there are people in the chat that are waiting to talk with you. And there's apparently, I have received word that there is somebody here that wants to address you. Now, we don't know who this is. We don't know what this person wants to get off their chest. But if you want to support Omega Championship Wrestling, that is their YouTube link. Hit that sub button for us, and please support OCW. But yes, congratulations from Zilla. We'll get to the chat later. But big victory. But apparently you weren't done that evening, and I have some footage from that evening that I may want to show for our audience in case, just maybe, they would like to see. And I would, with your permission, like to show that footage because I think
why don't you roll that footage, because I wanted to make sure that I was in the same building as the Big Boss that night, and let's see what happened.
Well, you know what? We're going to do that right now, and the Big Boss TIP, very successful. We'll turn this volume up here for those that are listening and watching us. What? Wait a minute! What are you doing now? James Taylor is confronting the Big Boss TIP, the OCW Delta champion. You had your match. You're not here. Wait a minute. And you're showing up here and you're confronting this man, and he's. I don't blame the Big Boss TIP. He's looking at you like, what are you doing here? Wait a minute. Let's go to the footage. Who are you? 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 Who are you?
Lock your eyes on me. This right here. What? Time's ticking, son. This is mine. Okay. Time. All due respect. I've earned my shot. Called you out. You obviously won. Now it's my time. You understand? You should understand, right? You should understand.
He should understand.
Well, but he doesn't have to. He's the champion. He's the incumbent.
All respect.
I tell him all respect. I respect him. But I want him to send a very clear message.
No! What? This is respect. That's not respecting. That's not respecting authority. That's not respecting those who are here to light the stage for OCW. What are you doing?
I was respectively sending him.
That's not respect. That's disrespect. That's disrespectful.
It ain't disrespectful. That's James Taylor letting that man know what's in. What's in.
What's that into you? That man has fought hard for OCW. He has put OCW on this map, and why did you do that?
I had to, Tom. I had to let that man know what his future was about to look like, because he's looking down at the end of that tunnel, and all he's going to do, exactly what just happened, he's going to look up at them lights. The only difference is when it happens in the future, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and you're looking at the next champion, period.
But he already had his match. You confronted him after his match. He had already.
I sure did.
He didn't do that to you.
That was on him. I'm in his house. Is that right? I'm in OCW's house.
You make an excellent point. You should, in his house, you should pay respect to him.
So I was showing respect.
You hit him with that stunner. I think the handshake would have been a sign of respect that we all would have.
I did all
Not
of
with
it.
that stunner.
I went out there. I waited till his match was over. I didn't do no cheap interference crap. I waited till the
But
man
you
was
stunned him.
victorious.
But you stunned a man after
I
he
was
put his.
sending him a simple
I
message.
don't
That's
know.
all it was,
James,
Tom.
we love you dearly, but this was not what we expected here in OCW. This
Well, that's
man, the big boss TIP, had a hard fought match. He had a hell of a battle. He was successful. And then afterwards, it's one thing to shake another man's hand, but then to do what you did, I don't know. I don't know.
turn your back on James Taylor. That's all
I
have to say.
understand, but he didn't. But he didn't come out in your match. He didn't do that.
I didn't come out after. I didn't come out during his. I came out after the match. There was nothing else going on. The man was sitting in the ring, catching his breath. I went out there to go make sure that he was all right, and I wanted to let him know, I'm your number one contender. I'm the next guy in line. I've earned my shot. With all due respect, this is your house, but I'm going to make myself at home, and
But
that's
you're going to now
exactly
have
what I
a
did.
bullseye on your back now because of what you did to your opponents, stunning all of them after the match, and then what you did to the big boss TIP, the OCW Delta champion. I mean, you've come into OCW now, and all of a sudden you've made enemies. Now, you've made a few enemies and some.
A wise man once said, a
Yes,
guy
sir.
that I really highly looked up to, and no, he wasn't bald. This guy had hair, I promise. But he once said this: in this business, you can make friends or you can make money. I'm not there to make any friends. I'm there to make money. I'm there to handle business, and I'm there to make myself known as the top guy in all of wrestling, especially OCW. And every single person in that
But
locker
you
room
had done
knows
that by
that I don't care
winning
who
your
you
match.
are.
But you had done that by winning your match, and then all of a sudden you stunned all of your opponents afterwards, and then stunned another man after shaking his hand. That's where some people may be confused,
I was
especially
just
people
making
that are fans
myself
of you.
known. I know that. I know, and I know it's kind of hard to grasp the reason why, but
It is.
you know, I said I was turning a new leaf, and I'm tired of everything that I've been through in my career up until
I've
this
been through a
point.
lot.
It's time for me. It's all about me.
Those
It's
men
all
didn't have
about what
any.
I want and what I want to do in this business until I'm ready to say I'm done, until I'm ready to ride off into the sunset. But right now, it's the big boss TIP is in my sights, and I'm going for that championship.
But those men didn't have anything to do with what you've went through in your career. You took it out on those innocent men who had nothing to do with what you went through.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Oh, that may be true, but they were still innocent bystanders.
Well, I was declared the winner. They should have got their sorry rotten asses out of that ring and let me
They
have my
couldn't.
spotlight.
They were trying
No,
to,
they
and
wasn't.
they
They
were.
were in my way. They were in my way. They were getting in my face. They were trying to blindside me. And you saw what Skyler did. He just come right up on me and just like it was Halloween. He was trying to scare me. I
Well,
caught him with a stuff.
he
That's
saw
what
you were going to come
happens.
on here
Big
tonight.
deal.
He saw you were going to come on here tonight with your Angry Orchard drink, 20 days out till Halloween, and that's why he was trying to greet you.
That's right. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that was the case. But you see, I just don't care anymore, Tom.
You don't care.
See, I care about what the people see, and I'm there to entertain. But at the
Well, how
same
do you
time,
think
I
the
don't care
people are
about
going to
anybody
react?
else's feelings except for my own.
What about the OCW faithful?
What about them?
How do you think that they're going to react to this?
They love me, they hate me. It doesn't matter to me. The reaction's there. I got their attention.
did.
That was the whole purpose too. I
Right.
made myself known. It's like, who in the hell is this? Of course they're gonna chant, "Who are you?" Better than not saying nothing at
And they were
all.
chanting
Because now
what?
they know.
Yeah, they do know. And you know what, James Taylor? We do still love you. But I tell you what, there's people here in the chat. I'll come back to the big boss TIP. I'm going to come back to him. I do want to talk about him further, and I don't want to steal there. But apparently, I've received word that there's somebody here from your past that you've wrestled that wants to talk to you, maybe about what you've done, and maybe tell you you're going down the wrong road. Maybe tell you
Are they
that
here to give me advice? Or are they here
maybe.
to...
And I think that would be a good idea because this is certainly not what we thought we were going to talk about here tonight. But this person is a man that is from your past, a man that you have plenty of history with, and he wants to come on and talk with you and maybe tell you or not tell you what you're doing. And only if you would insist me bring this person out. I know you might want to stun me right now for potentially taking this person.
Tom, you've done absolutely nothing wrong. You ain't in no stunning.
At this point, I'm very much afraid for my life, James Taylor, that you may stun me after this show tonight. This is not the show, but this man wants to come on here for a few minutes, and he wants to have a chat with you, and he's promised it's going to be PG. He's promised it's going to be in good taste, family friendly. I have no idea who this person is, and I'm going to now bring them on. And wait a minute. No. Wait. Now, that's tomorrow. You're here tomorrow. We know you guys have some history right now. There's been things said, your last appearance. We're not in that business anymore. We had Josie Scott on Monday. You got 60 seconds if this is what I think it's going to be.
Congratulations, buddy.
To me or him? I mean, we thank you for the congratulations on you getting us Josie Scott.
James.
Oh,
appreciate that. Thanks, buddy.
Wait, you guys are buddies again?
That's a cool looking sweater you got on right there, a hoodie.
Thank you.
Well, it's that season now. It's fall.
I want to congratulate you on doing what needed to be done, and that is taking that next step, getting back into a ring, hopefully full time, and doing what we do best. And now, James, we go back a couple years.
A couple.
We go back a few years, actually.
Okay, yeah, we do. About 4 years.
It's a long time.
5 years, maybe. 5 years.
Well, even longer.
I know what you're capable of. I know your tactics, dude. It's at this point, James, we can read each other like a book, front to back, cover to cover. I see where where you're going. But take it from me. The next IMF world champion.
We're talking about that tomorrow. The match is going to happen this time. We're talking
the next OCW Delta Heavyweight Champion.
That could be possible. What are you trying to get at, both of you?
With all due respect to you too, Anthony. I mean, you're right. I could read you like an open book. I know everything you're going to do before you do it, and vice versa, right? If the next time, if there was ever any time that we're in that ring every single time, you know, and it's not to butter you up, but Tom, I'm telling you, and I'll be, you know, not to get over sentimental about it, but every time I step into the ring, Anthony still brings out the best in the nemesis, James Taylor. And I believe that James Taylor brings out the best in
the
Anthony
underground,
Steele.
What has been one of the longest running feuds.
Despite every single match you've ever had, and same with me, you've pushed me to my limits, and I think I've pushed you to yours.
You know,
you know what to look forward to every single time you step in that ring with any other guy that you've stepped in the ring with over the past 4 years. But anytime it was James Taylor who pushed you to those limits, it was me, and vice versa. You brought the old man back after 16-year gap. After I thought I was put on the shelf, you brought me out of retirement for a one-off, and then look at me. It's kind of like a Shawn Michaels story. He's gone for 4 or 5 years, comes back for one match with Triple H in 02, and then he's back full-time for 10 years. It's the same aspect. You brought me out of retirement, so I'm going to thank you on that one. You did bring me out of retirement.
Wow! Who would have thought that? I would not have thought about this 2 days ago. James Taylor thanking Anthony Steele, especially after Anthony's last appearance on Sportswire. What's in the air tonight?
You see, James, you know, like I said, I always watch. I always watch and see what's going on with James Taylor. The simple fact that everyone knows it. Our story ain't over. It's being put on hold. right now. You're doing your thing. I'm doing my thing. You know, these past couple months, James, I don't know if you've kept track, but longest reigning IMF United States champion. And the same night, I lost the United States Championship inside Rumble in the Wreck. I won the Rumble.
Yes.
By eliminating not one, not two, but three men at the same time.
Congratulations.
And double pinned, by the way, two men that are considered underground stalwarts, and one of them a legend in this circuit, by the way, a few months back. You might have heard of him, James. A guy named Darkron, the underground OG, 7-star wrestler now. Well, Johnny the Last
out there.
Yeah, big buddy.
You know,
big buddy.
Going into it, you know, I opened my eyes to what the fuck was going on around here. Sorry.
No, I got a new button though for you. I got a new button.
But I opened my eyes to what was going on in IMF, and now look at me, ready to go toe to toe with a dude that I stood side by side with,
and was in the ring with Rory Fox, by the way, a legend. By the way, a legend. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Rory Fox is a legend.
You see, last month it was Anthony Steele versus Felix Jones versus Rory Fox for the PWF World Championship because Omen Black couldn't make it. And then he cost me my match. He cost me the PWF World Heavyweight Championship. And now it's redemption time, James.
Yeah.
And see, that's where I see you at. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit so people can understand. You're on redemption time, James.
Yeah.
See, right now, you went from me bringing you back into a company that should never be talked about again.
Yeah.
So then me and you going at it again at another company that shall now be talked about.
Well, they aren't existing. The other company is pretended as if nothing happened. I mean, we're not going to go down that road, though.
And then somehow, some way, you show up in Iowa.
Yeah, yes.
And then when you showed up in Iowa, you disappeared for a little bit more. You came back. You did some jumping around, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, it was good.
But now it's redemption time, James. The redemption of James Taylor is what? You're what? 38, 40, 45?
45! Anthony, stand-up comedian.
You're old.
By the way we look at it, you look at both of us on the screen, you kind of look like those numbers where I don't.
I might look older than I am. That's because I'm wiser than you'll ever be. But we'll not get on that topic. No, what I'm here to say is redemption times, James. It's time to redeem yourself and make everyone think that James Taylor isn't just a person that runs his mouth on Sportswire, that says he's going to get in that ring, do what he wants to do. You have a world title shot. Your first world title shot. Your first meaningful world title shot. In what, 20, 25 years?
I think it's technically
that's not a joke. I'm being serious. 19 years. In 19 years, you finally get to step in a ring and fight for a world championship.
Wow. Now, do you want Anthony? I got a follow up to it. Now, let's say James wins this OCW Delta Championship. This is where I would love to know your opinion. Do you think potentially you would conversely like a shot at James's OCW Delta Championship?
James, if there's one thing I do know about the situation at hand is you're in my old stomping grounds, my old territory.
Yes.
Well, I look at it, it's already mine.
See, James, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You're there. You're handling yourself down south while I handle this stuff up north. But James, there's one thing that Tom knows. There's one thing that these viewers know, and that is Anthony Steele has no problem traveling back down south to go face to face with you. And see, the biggest part is it might be during your world title match. It might be before your world title match. It might be after. I might let you try to win this world championship. And then if you win, stare you down in the middle of that ring and let you know that it's not over. Because one thing I've grown up hearing is you can read and say 1,000 words, but the moment that you put it into action is the moment that it means something, James. And right now, I'm not here to talk about what could happen between me and you. Right now, I'm here to talk about what you need to do. You need to put those words into action, James. You need to win that world championship for it to mean something. Because if you just sit here and say that you showed him what you're made of, you made him believe in James Taylor, what happens if you lose James? Are you going to believe that TIP was really at the level that you thought you should have been? Or is James Taylor really at the level or above the level of TIP?
That's a good point. That's almost piggybacking off last night's show with Sean Jovi, where he has a shot at the IMF Tag Team Championships. And if he comes empty-handed, well, I mean, who knows what his future is? And that's a good point. You know, Anthony is a clever man. He's a clever man, despite what people say about him. James, if you lose to the big boss TIP, you lose this OCW Delta Championship shot, I mean, what is your future, especially in OCW? They're not going to welcome you back after what you did to those wrestlers that you were in that match with, what you did to the big boss TIP. I mean, where will you go from here afterwards? Maybe that's a question you may want to answer for everyone.
I don't know, I'm kind of comfortable in this house right now. Kind of comfortable making myself around in that 18 by 18 ring. Went back in the locker room, met a few gentlemen, met a few assholes. And you know what? It's just like any other locker room I've ever stepped into. So I let them know I'm not here to be buddy with you. I'm here to be better than you. I'm going to step on you and I'm going to run right through you. You know what, Anthony, with what you're saying, you're coming in here and you're about, half my age and you're trying to give me some advice, and that's mighty heroic of you. And I genuinely appreciate that. You might have, for the current standard time of modern wrestling, more matches under the belt than what I've got, and that's fine. That's admirable. I wouldn't expect you to say anything less than what you did to try and help me out, because you want to see me succeed, because you want to just wait for me to be at this one point, so that way you think you can backdoor your way and just knock me off the mountain. Is that right?
No, James. Hold on.
Well, I mean, isn't it my turn to talk?
Hold on. I ain't got much time. And like I said, I'm not here to be disrespectful.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I'm not saying this to get in your head to think that I'm gonna drive down to Mississippi and come fight you for a championship. No, I'm saying this because I want to see you do the same thing I did. See, the one thing that we said a long time ago, James, is we were cut from the same cloth but took two opposite directions.
Yep.
And while you might be older than me, while you might be 15 years my senior, the time I've spent traveling the Midwest, going from Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas,
Mississippi,
and many more, and
Illinois.
A part of me is going to wait for tomorrow to announce the big thing that I have coming up, James, because then you'll see where I'm coming from this standpoint. But let's go to that one magical place called Tennessee. And Tennessee is where Anthony Steele won his first independent championship.
Yes, you did.
The NOCW First Blood Championship I held for 9 months. For 9 months. The same title reign that I had with the IMF United States Championship. And James, I'm not here to say that I'm better than you. I'm not here to say that you will never be as great as me. No, James, I brought you back into this world because I felt like you gave something back then that could be given again now. But right now, as we stand, and this is where I want you to prove me wrong. As we stand, you stayed in a division where wins and losses didn't matter, where championships wasn't a big fucking factor in this. You were in a division where it was playtime, James. And the one thing I've learned about you is you don't like playtime. You like to get down to the nitty-gritty. You like to get in that ring, bust your ass, and show the world who James Taylor is. And now you have that opportunity. So what I want you to do is I don't want you to win the championship and think that I'm coming after you. No, what I want you to do is win that championship and show me that James Taylor is no longer a backyard wrestler. That James Taylor is no longer a trampoline wrestler. I want to see that James Taylor has been and was built for the independent scene. That way, when you come on here, and I've said this to some of the other guys that I wrestle with on a monthly basis, that you don't get called a backyard legend, that you don't get called a backyard wrestler. No, because by the time that you're done, I want to hear the words, he's an independent legend. A dude that's trailblazed the indie scene. A dude that came in, did what he had to do, busted some asses, took some licks, kept bleeding, but kept getting the fuck back up.
Wow.
I'm tired of the people that I've stood side by side with through a lot of things get tore down. And I'm one of those people that used to say those things about you, James. Why? To give you the boost that you needed to get your head out of your ass and do what you really wanted to do. You didn't want to be on a trampoline. You didn't want to be in a backyard. You wanted to be a wrestler.
We showed it
in
here
a
tonight.
squared circle.
He was.
A squared circle, dog.
He's back. He's got a championship shot ahead.
So now that you're there in OCW, you're about to fight for the OCW Delta Heavyweight Championship. It is time to not only prove me, but all the doubters wrong, that you're not this middle-aged crisis man seeking attention, that you're a dude who has busted his ass, climbed the mountain, and achieved everything that he set out to do.
Wow. And James Taylor is speechless. And I do want to say hello to a new viewer. And I think I know who it is. Thank you very much for tuning in, and hit the sub button for me. And I hope you enjoy what we're here with. And Anthony Steele is here for a few more minutes. And Anthony's going to be here around 8:15 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. He alluded to it. And yes, it is Brightwood Sprite, and who I met and is on TikTok. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy the conversation. And Anthony Steele, who looks like Josie's got a little bit, will be here tomorrow around 8:15 Eastern time. And he's got a major announcement. And he's come on here not to confront James Taylor, his longtime nemesis, but rather give him some advice. I mean, the elder statement is getting advice from his younger foe. I mean, boy, James Taylor, this is just...
There's only one thing I want to see, James.
Ooh.
One. I want to see the same James Taylor that walked in to a company with 3 letters, walked into the middle of my match, attacked me, drew my blood, to where it went all over that canvas, and then met me a state over 1 year later. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, James, and I say this with all the love in my heart. If I watch that world title match and I see the trampoline come out in you,
well, he's not going to be on a trampoline when he wrestles.
If I see, it's a metaphor. If I see the trampoline come out of you, then yeah, I will come down there. Because then I'm going to have to knock some sense into you to get you the fuck back where you need to be.
James Taylor is laughing. James Taylor is laughing here, boy. This is a darker Sportswire radio episode, but not that kind of dark. But boy, I mean, James, that's a.
Did you not just see that match that Tom just broadcasted?
I can put
Does
that
it look
right
like the trampoline was coming out of me? I went there with three guys who are veterans in this business. One of them, a Hall of Famer. Another guy that I'm going to be facing is a Hall of Famer in the South. And I let every single one of them know what I'm about. That guy, look at that goofy guy throwing me over the top rope because he thought it was a battle royal. He wasn't all there. You see, they say, I'm not knocking you, and I appreciate everything you're saying.
Oh, really?
It's admirable. I respect that. Thank you. I mean, if anything, that'll help motivate me more. Sure. More motivation is always great.
Good.
But there's an old saying that a lot of you young cats like to say, and that is, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know what? There's a reason behind that. Do you know what that is? It's the fact that an old man like me already knows all the tricks. I know everything. I've got a PhD in that ring. It doesn't matter if my trampoline comes out. It doesn't matter if my backyard side comes out. Regardless of the fact that when I'm in that ring, I've escaped the reality of what the Matrix is, basically. I'm in there to do damage. I'm in there to make myself known. I'm in there to hurt somebody and get all my frustrated tendencies out on my opponent. And that's exactly what I want to do, is prove to myself and prove to the world that I am a professional wrestler who was a backyard wrestler, who, just like I told Comatose 24 hours ago, right here on this same seat, there is not one soul yet, keyword, that I have met that eats, sleeps, breathes, cries, everything this business more than me. Yeah, 41 years old. I'm still doing it. How many 41-year-olds that look the way that I do that are ready to get out there and get into that ring? Yeah, there's that Jimmy Hayes, a little bit north of 50, but he's out there doing it because he loves it. But I can guarantee you, and if James Taylor thinks that it's time for him to hang the boots up, then I will. But right now, I feel just as healthy as, if not better than what I did 15, 20 years ago. Even better than I did 5 years ago. When I saw you. I wasn't very happy with myself.
I know Anthony's got to run here in a minute. I know Anthony's got to run in a minute. Anthony's going to be here tomorrow.
I know he's got to go.
No, but one more thing. I got to ask this question because, James, and I'm listening to Anthony talk about the past, and we've been here for a lot of that past. We saw you and him wrestle in one retracted company, another company that really, I don't even want to say their name. And you kind of missed seeing Anthony in the ring when you went down north. And we'll talk about the IMF tomorrow. But James, what's on the minds of people, at least on this platform, and your peers, whether they're underground, independent, backyard, whatever it might be, whatever you are, that's between you and your God. But people are going to still feel that there is unfinished business between you and Anthony Steele, and there can't be no other way. That one more time, it's got to happen. Whether it's in OCW, whether it's in IMF, whether it's, what's the middle point between those two places? And maybe it's for the OCW Delta Championship. Maybe it's for the IMF World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, what's on the minds of people here on this platform, a platform that you both men are responsible for building, a platform that you both are responsible for getting this guy Josie Scott here for. People are going to want to see it one more time, 1-on-1, mano-a-mano, and this time with championship gold on the line.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One of these days, it'll happen again. You're going to see James Taylor and Anthony Steele cross paths. Could it be for the good, or could it be for the absolute end of an era? Who knows? What regardless of the fact, if me and Anthony was to lock up again, it'd be a matchup that nobody can compete with. I can guarantee it.
It would be a certainly end of an era, and I hope to see that. And especially to remind you, James, the last time you two were in a ring, Anthony, you remember what happened?
You talking about Winter Clash?
No, you and hit. Well, when you were in a ring together, in a ring.
I mean, if you're talking about in a match together,
Yeah.
James took an L.
And James knows that he has that on his
James. See, it's not at this point. It's not about wins and losses between me and you. And I'll publicly say this right now, to where there's no miscommunication. Have we had it out a couple times? Oh yeah. Sometimes James Taylor didn't like what Anthony Steele had to say. A lot of people on this platform has not liked what Anthony Steele has had to say.
Well, that's maybe so.
But there's one thing I agree with you on, and there's one thing I don't. And I'll start with the one thing I don't. Is James, you have met someone that lives, sleeps, breathes, thinks the mentality of wrestling like you, because this is all I've wanted to do. I have busted my ass. I've went from company to company. The number one thing a lot of people like to talk about, how many companies has Anthony Steele been banned from? How many companies has Anthony Steele been kicked out of? And hey, IMF over 1 year strong.
Doing great in IMF.
Anthony Steele.
New building, by the way. Tone Boss is kicking off the show on Saturday. We're going to talk a lot about that.
Like, you got to understand is that's where we're so similar. Is the love of this business runs through our veins like beer does through a fucking alcoholic.
James does have his Angry Orchard.
So that's the one thing that I say is wrong that you stated. Because if there's one thing, this is the one thing I've said to multiple people, and I'll say it live. If there is the perfect death of Anthony Steele, it will be in the middle of that ring.
Well,
to die doing the thing that I love.
Well, we hope it doesn't happen anytime soon. We want to see you.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope Vince McMahon doesn't come cut a cord on me too.
Well, let's not hope. We got a big match to talk about. I know you got to run, Anthony. Is there anything else you want to say to James before you go? But
finally, the one thing I will say I agree with you on is I believe that you can do this.
What?
Is that I believe that James Taylor can walk into OCW, take it by storm, and take that Delta Heavyweight Championship.
Wow. I did not think that would come out of the mouth of Anthony Steele, especially after the last time Anthony was here. But maybe things have changed. You know, Anthony, before you go, yesterday on the show, it seemed like Soldier and James were talking, and they had a handshake emoji in the chat, and bygones were bygones. And I guess maybe water is under the bridge, or at least it's starting to form. And maybe things can go like they should go. And because never say never is what James has always said. And maybe we're seeing that firsthand finally.
And you know what? I'll end it with this, James, because this is a topic that me and you have talked about for about 3 years.
Uh-oh.
If you don't win the Delta Heavyweight Championship, and if they do have tag titles, call me.
Oh my goodness! Anthony Steele and James Taylor tag teaming? No, and this will really happen. You know, Justin Parsley and Anthony Steele, by the way, are in the Hall of Fame, but they, as a team, didn't tag together. But James Taylor and Anthony Steele, these two men who have arguably, when you think about Sportswire Radio, you think about this generation in the underground circuit, these two men have been arguably the greatest rivalry. The rivalry that has continued. It has continued despite the war of words, the companies, the different things, the different ways they've wrestled in promo wrestling, in backyard wrestling, underground, independent wrestling here. And yet there is that possibility of these two men tag teaming. Boy, I can't wait for Anthony Steele coming on here tomorrow night.
I'll give James, I'm in a good mood tonight. I don't know why, but I am.
This is well.
So I'll give this announcement besides you. For everyone tuning in, that does not work at IMF. I'm proud to announce that Anthony Steele will be debuting his first ever set of authentic custom made gear.
Wow!
I've waited so long. I purchased this back in June and I'm about to get it next week. I've gotten gear. It's still joggers. You know how to
Be right back.
how to keep my aesthetic. How to keep my aesthetic. It feels like old times. James leaves.
Oh man, you know what? And Anthony Steele is back where he belongs. Welcome home, Anthony. It's been too long. Jovi was here yesterday. James was here, and you've come here and welcome home, Anthony. Welcome home. Welcome home.
But this goes out to everybody in the indies, everybody in the underground. Like, this is the number one thing I've told a lot of people. I love this. I love this sport day in and day out, through and through, my entire body. And one of the things I'm going to mention tomorrow night could be good, could be bad. And hello, Zillow. Just saw your comment.
We didn't read comments off because we had you coming in and we knew that was going to get people fired up tonight.
But this is a time for everyone that wants to do this to step up. If James can do it at 41 years old, all you young bucks can do it.
Well, you know what? We have remember Joey Knight Jr. He's done it. He's in Arkansas. He's made a nice little niche.
Yeah, I still gotta make it down there.
Well, we'll talk about him tomorrow. I mean, listen, you got him. There's Mickey Vargas. Mickey Vargas has made quite a name for himself. There are guys that have done that.
But this is the last thing I will tell you, James, and I'm gonna hop off. I'm not trying to steal your little spotlight tonight.
Well, the views went up, so I mean, you came on, you brought the views.
But James, I mean this with all the love that I can. I believe in you. I have faith in you. Get the job done.
Whoa.
Because that's what I plan on doing in 7 days' time.
Whoa, boy! Who would have guessed Anthony Steele is just days away from winning the IMF World Heavyweight Championship, and he has come on here and spoken to James Taylor. And if you've been following, that would have been something nobody would have thought or seen coming. And yet these two men I guess, well, hell does freeze over, but what these men have said about each other, and I guess never say never, and there can't be no other way. And Anthony, I know you got to run, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
I have to say it, James. I have to say it just so I can get that grin out. When it comes to me and you teaming together, dog, never say never, kid.
Chase Wakefield just came in here and saw it. I mean, there's people here that are just.
I'd be the team captain, right?
No, Anthony could be the world champion. He might be the captain if he's the IMF champion.
You know, they say the bitterest of enemies can make great tag team champions. Look at Stone Cold and The Undertaker.
Especially after what you two said about each other. I'm shocked. I'm floored. It was just 72 hours ago. Anthony Steele and James Taylor couldn't mention those two names in the same room. But now it seems like a peace treaty has been made. You know, everyone's talking about Trump right now with Israel and Gaza, and it seems right now on Sportswire between James Taylor and IMF, it's like Israel and Gaza. Who would have guessed that Anthony Steele's like Trump? He's making deals, and he's just making sure everybody's on the same page. And boy, listen, this is the commander-in-chief. Anthony Steele is the commander-in-chief. He's the guy that helped get Josie Scott here. He's the guy that helped Nikki Sixx watch Sportswire. I mean, boy, Anthony Steele's back tomorrow. This is why you've got to tune in to Anthony Steele, because of what he said tonight. Just wait until what he says tomorrow, and he's less controversial these days. Boy, Anthony Steele, I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Y'all have a great night, James. Do your thing, but tune in for when I do my thing.
I hope you be here, Anthony, for that one.
Also, check out my match with Rory Fox.
We're going to watch that tomorrow night. I'm glad you brought that up.
Felix got bodied, but I bodied him.
Well, you know what? We'll talk about that. And thank you, Anthony Steele. And James Taylor, I am shocked tonight. Anthony Steele came on here, not to what he's done in the past over the past few years, but rather came on here and gave you some advice. He was supportive. He was complimentary. And he even threw out the possibilities of you and him one more time, teaming together. James Taylor, I am shocked. I am shocked.
The boy has grown up some, hasn't he?
Are you going to tell us you're responsible for that? Wow, James Taylor.
People will surprise you.
I am shocked.
Shows, if anything, that shows what was that show, the ultimate thing that I was talking about earlier? Respect.
Well, he came on here and said, listen, you know what? You got to go be not just a backyard wrestling legend, but a guy that could be an independent wrestling legend. You know what? He's right, because there have been guys that have moved on from the backyard to the promo wrestling world, and they've made niches for themselves. I mentioned Joey Knight Jr. He's been on here regularly the last several months. Mickey Vargas, another guy. He's been side by side with Masada. I mean, there's a guy, D Savage. He's gone out there and wrestled Tommy Invincible, and he's made a name for himself. He's got a belt. I mean, there's a lot of guys. D'Angelo LaFlame, he's out there. We know his journey. There have been plenty of guys, and Anthony Steele is now next. He's got ring gear for himself, and he wants you to join those names. Join them. And join Anthony Steele, most notably. He was just in the ring with Rory Fox, a wrestling stalwart in the Midwest. And boy, maybe you've got the motivation you need to beat that big boss TIP and win that OCW Delta Championship.
Very much so. I mean, I already plan on it. I plan on beating the hell out of him and taking his little title and showing everybody down here in the South that I'm all about it. That I am the next champion.
Well, I'm going to get to some comments for a little bit. We'll get to closing words because, I'm floored. Anthony Steele came on here tonight and didn't do what Anthony Steele has done in the past. I mean, his last appearance. I mean, there were things you couldn't even be brought up. But I guess, like I said, Israel and Gaza, I mean, you and IMF, you and Anthony Steele, I mean, you know what? This is our version of that. I mean, not to compare, but it kind of feels that way. And you know what? There can be peace after all. The one and only, I think it's Sean Jovi. He did want to say hello. And hello to Zilla. Thank you, Zilla. These are comments from a long time ago. Austin Edwards, a man that has also famously wanted to wrestle you. But first, you've got, I think, the big boss TIP, but he did want to say hello to everybody. And Sean Jovi did want to say, by God, it's James Taylor. And Ox McCoy, by the way, we want to give our enforcer some well wishes. Wanted to say what, and it's been quite an episode on that. And what I'll tell you what, yeah, Sean Jovi was trying to do my number one, and maybe he can do that. And did anyone catch Crown Jewel this morning? My buddy Joe Rosass in beautiful Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, was talking about it, and I didn't watch Crown Jewel, but maybe I think after what Anthony Steele said tonight, I'm more focused about what Anthony Steele said about this than Crown Jewel. But that's what Austin said, and he couldn't stay awake. But you know what, Mr. Smack'em.
Yeah.
Well, you gave him a few snacks.
Yeah.
Hit the sub button for OCW. We'd really appreciate that. We'll have more OCW coverage here coming up. Please do that. And congratulations on winning your debut match. Very impressive performance. Absolutely. Speaking of men that certainly would like to see you in the ring still, the Underground OG, the 7-star Mr. Darkron himself, or Johnny Velocity, Quick Strike Johnny Velocity. Speaking of other legends, the one and only Doc Holliday, a man that goes back like Sean Joby to the GBYWN, and he's been in TF Crew, GTS, NEW, a long list of companies. And Anthony was here on Instagram. Give him a follow. Definitely give him a follow. Hello there to the lovely Bright Wood Sprite, and she's on TikTok. Give her a follow. We'd appreciate that. It was very nice meeting her today in Manhattan. Thank you for your support. And the Underground OG would like to remind you of that he sees one person on here he's yet to meet in person before he hangs it up, and he didn't quite mean me, although he would like to meet me, but he meant between you and Anthony in that ring.
Well, I mean, if there is one guy, like I said, even though I'm basically done with backyard and underground wrestling. There's a few little tie-ins I need to take care of, and if that's one on the list, I mean it would be Dark Cron. I don't see no Johnny Velocity. No, I'm sorry, man, but it's Dark Cron to me.
What about that guy that was in the chat though yesterday with a last name of Storm? He seemed to be talking up with you, but is there still unfinished business?
That's another guy. There's unfinished business. There's always going to be unfinished business. If that's a guy that I'd like to step in the ring with still, it would be him. Yes. Him, Dark Cron, Matthew Forsaken, just to name a few.
And Matthew Forsaken, by the way, big shout out to him. He's wrestling Kenny Ice Collins in a pro wrestling setting pretty much over in the EWA, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. I mean, boy, we're never going to forget that because it's the 84th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. And, well, Kenny Ice Collins, the EWA champion, we're going to live and love what he and Matthew Forsaken do. Matthew Forsaken's been on a very impressive run. And by the way, he defeated Jason Storm not too long ago. And he's defeated Dark Cron also recently. So he's been on a very impressive
Dark Cron has beat him before.
Well, they're brothers. So, yeah, they go back and forth like you and Anthony, but only longer. Thank you, Doc. And thank you. And Zilla wants to say that you still got a first in-ring match in 10 months. I know you've been in wrestling certainly in the last 10 months, but your first in-ring match in a live crowd in 10 months since over in the Palo Community Center. And Zilla still believes in you. Chase Wakefield, who's now a married man, the married Chase Wakefield, the Bitcoin billionaire. He can't be a Bitcoin billionaire now that he's married, though, because obviously some of his worth went down a notch because he got married. No, he's not me. So, but James, I do have something for you. It's been quite the night. I'm going to get to a few more things with you before you sign off, but it was your day here at All Sportswire Radio. It was definitely your day. After what we've seen tonight, it's got to be your day. There can't be no other way because you were in rare form tonight. You stunned all your opponents. You went after this big boss TIP. And then Anthony Steele came on here and was rather, well, uncontroversial like. And he talked to you, well, it was like the real deal. And, I mean, let's just say, I'll tell you what, it has to be your day.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I mean, I'm just doing what I love to do, and that's entertain and be a part of the wrestling world because like I said, I eat, sleep, breathe it. So if it's James Taylor Day, then I hope it's been a hell of a day for everybody.
It's been a hell of an episode on Sportswire, putting it bluntly, because I mean, we got Anthony Steele to hype us up for tomorrow, and he confronted you, and that I don't think would have happened 48 or 72 hours ago, even 24 hours ago. I'm not quite sure, but like I said, this is like our version of Israel and Gaza. And yeah, that's another good point. Joe Stone comes back to ROEW, gets a big win over Matthew Forsaken, and the mood he's in. And also, Forsaken, like I said, is going after the EWA championship. And if he brings that home, listen, Matthew Forsaken right now, we're all forsaking when we're in the middle of what he has to do. And Jason Storm, he beat Jason Storm, by the way. And congratulations, James. And we'll put up your YouTube and Instagram links up here. But before we do that, is there anything else that you'd like to bring up and such? Anything that we haven't covered? Because I feel like this is going to be one of those episodes that was definitely memorable for a lot of reasons. And there can't be no other way in saying so.
That's true. I mean, yeah, you're right to a degree, for sure. I would talk about it, but I know we're a little bit more limited on time.
No, you can talk about it. You're James Taylor. You helped build this platform. You want to talk? You by all means can talk. You're James Taylor. I don't want to get started by you. ROEW. I love ROEW. Yes.
A company that I used to own, but a company that Dark Cron and Matthew Forsaken are still a part of.
Yes, they are.
And I respect those guys. Some things have happened, unfortunately, but it doesn't mean that I don't watch it still. I do.
You do?
And I do my best to keep up with it. And, if I see a Dark Crown match, I'm going to watch it. But
Copper Dragon was very impressed
I wish
recently.
things would have worked.
Copper Dragon gave him 7 stars.
Yeah, well deserved. I saw his match with CJ, and you could get mad at CJ all you want. I agree, but I mean the guy knows what he's doing in that ring. It seems like a lot of the time, and him and Dark Cron had a hell of a matchup. So, but hey, it is what it is. Would I still like to do something with them? I don't know if everything lined up the right way and people decided to make things right. What do I always say? Never say never, right?
Anthony, you were on the screen tonight, and Anthony even left the door open of you teaming together. I mean, I would never have thought that would have happened.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to definitely wait for him to tag me every time, and I'd have to go in there and clean up his mess and get the victory, of course.
No, disagree on that. Anthony's he's evolved. He's really evolved. I mean, but yeah, I think ROEW is doing great. I would love to see you in ROEW. If that's something you'd like. I know you're very busy right now in OCW, but I guess people might still feel that would be a possibility. I mean, Kyle Keplin's doing pretty well there, it seems. What he did to Jack Delta, man, you've competed against. So obviously you got a vested interest there. I mean, so we'll see what happens. Soldier GP is supposed to wrestle him in a Detroit death match. I guess time will tell what happens there. But if that's a place you'd like to go to, I think fans would love to see that as a moment for sure.
I mean, it would be damn sure interesting if that was to happen, but I do got Big Boss TIP in my sights, and I am on my way to OCW to face him eventually, and I'm going to take that championship from him. And you know what? I also say this, though, because I know there's a question on the back of my mind and everybody else's. What if, James Taylor, what if you don't win? I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter. Win, lose, or draw. And it's the same in any match I'm ever in. Win, lose, or draw. At the end of the day, everybody will know who the nemesis James Taylor is in that company. And I'm going to get my respect and I'm going to earn it. It doesn't mean that I'm going to hang up the boots because I lose. I'm going to go out there every single time I get the opportunity to prove and to earn my shot once again. I don't care how many times I have to go after him. When I finally get that title, whether it's the first time I go after him or if it's a second or a third or a fifth, it doesn't matter. When that strap's on my shoulder is because it's well earned, and everybody will be like, okay, I guess.
But Anthony made the point though tonight that you can't say I showed up and I made him respect me. No, I do think Anthony's onto something. You got to go out and win this championship because we don't know how many opportunities are left. You are back in a ring. And this is about making a statement and making that transition. I think Anthony's onto something here. And I think in a way you're in the same boat as Jovi was here last night. Jovi's got a tag title shot against Soldier GP and Justin Parsley, two men you know very well and you've wrestled. And we don't know Jovi's future. Jovi even said, hey, listen, Tom, I don't even know what's the point of me coming back to Sportswire. What's to talk about if I lose next weekend? And I kind of think it's the same way. You have this match with the Big Boss TIP when the time comes. And if you come up short, we don't know how many more opportunities there are. We don't know. Sure, you could earn respect, but I think you got to go out there and win this. I think Anthony's onto something.
I mean, I'm not going to not agree with that. You know, I mean, yeah, I need to. I really do. Do I want to? Oh, hell yeah, I do. You know, it's going to be a damn sure sight to see me and the Big Boss TIP go at it. And I could say that I've shared the ring with a legend Hall of Famer like him. You know, and there's plenty more to do. There's plenty more people to see. There's plenty more matches I still got left in the tank. So just continue to stay tuned. Because
well, maybe James will see the Big Boss TIP one day. Maybe he'll want to say something about this. I mean, we
yeah.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe you and the Big Boss TIP need to talk on here, and maybe you guys need to hash out your differences face to face. What do you think about that?
I mean, if he's got a set big enough to come on here in front of the world and try and out-talk James Taylor, I'd invite him up personally myself.
You'd invite him? Yeah.
But I guess we'd have to see, you know. Hopefully we might be able to find out, and I'll see if I can get a hold of the power, or, you know,
the
board of directors,
management.
the powers
Maybe
that be.
Well,
Yeah,
I think the Big Boss TIP, he would want to have his 2 cents. Especially you walking in here like this, doing what you did. I mean, that just saying, I mean, there can't be no other way unless we find out and try. I mean, I think people would be very curious to hear from the Big Boss TIP.
He did have a response over what I did to him.
Yeah. I mean, I did. I don't think I can. I don't see it on Instagram. I can't share it.
It's on the YouTube page.
Let me pull it up. We can do that.
It's the only video that shows him, and it's one of the most recent ones that shows just.
Yeah, I got it here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I can pull it up.
It's like a minute something. He has some choice words for me.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I got it. Right. Yep, I got it. Yeah, we got it. We got words here before we sign off on Sportswire from the man himself, the Big Boss TIP, the OCW Delta Champion.
Nemesis. I just have a few things to say to you, homeboy. The last time I seen you, you left me looking up at the lights. But it wasn't for the 1, 2, 3. You, homeboy, you have no clue what you have done. Basically, when you put your hands on somebody where I'm from, when you unsolicited put your hands on somebody, you get your ass whooped, let alone you might get unalived.
Ooh.
But in your case, homeboy, you get a pass. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I want to see you this Saturday, face to face, when there's no sneak attacks. And just to let you know, you want this belt?
You want it?
You want this title?
Yep.
You're gonna have to kill me.
Oh!
Ain't got nothing on me.
King Kong has nothing on the Big Boss. Look at the chain. Look at the gold watch.
Saturday.
He's got a Michael Jordan poster in the background, and James Taylor. What did I say? I said you may regret this. You may regret this.
Ain't nothing to regret, because that's how the Nemesis is programmed. I'm fully activated. The Nemesis program is
Oh,
fully
tonight.
activated when it goes into OCW, and it doesn't matter win, lose, or draw. You cannot kill. You cannot stop the unstoppable force that is the Tyrant King in all of wrestling. And I know the big boss TIP says that I get a pass. Hell, son, you might want to be able to take that pass back, because the only way you're going to stop me is to unalive it. I will beat the ever living crap out of you, and that championship, that 8 pounds of gold, will come home with the Nemesis James Taylor. That's going to stay with me for a very long time.
Ooh.
So
Very.
take your little idle threats, because it ain't the first time I've been told that. I've been told by many, many men in my 27 years how many people are going to end my career, how many people are going to defeat me, how many people are going to destroy me, how many people are going to whip my ass. But you know, the one thing that you've got in common with all of them, and that is the fact that nobody, and including you in your future, will ever have what it takes to get the job done. Period.
Whoa. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I, for one, am looking forward to that face-to-face between the OCW Delta champion and the big boss, TIP, and James Taylor. I, for one, am looking forward to seeing these two square off in the OCW arena. And I, for one, would love to see the big boss TIP and the Tyrant King, the Nemesis James Taylor, here side by side on Sportswire Radio. And I'm with my underground OG. By the way, the host of the Dark Chronicles. Check that out when you get a chance. And he wants that match still. And I would love to see that happen. Maybe that could, I don't know what the distance. I would even throw out one place, if you don't mind. I could throw out a place that maybe would be a happy mean for you. I know you talked about ROEW. Maybe there's unfinished business there. Sounds like that could be something. We saw you and Anthony, and who knows where that could be. But maybe in the great state of Ohio, there's a company that Mr. Kron also wrestles for called the EWA. They have a ring, and they've got some shows coming up, and maybe that's a place you could find a way to. I could talk to the high authority, Hubie Jenkins, about that, and maybe that's a place at some point that you might want to wrestle the Underground OG in.
I'd wrestle him anywhere he wanted to wrestle, anywhere that we can meet, for sure. Respect towards Dark Tron, and obviously he respects me. I see him as a good colleague.
A great
But
colleague.
understand, Dark Tron. If you and me were to go face to face, friendship aside, business is business, and I expect you to be on your A game. I know you had a 7-star match with one CJ Black.
Yes.
I'm not no CJ Black. I'm not the greatest technician in that ring. But one thing I do is I bring every single thing out of my opponent. And I would expect you to be on that A+ game as a veteran, just like me. So if anything, we could show these young cats what a true old school backyard and underground wrestling match would actually be like. And don't think I'm going to go easy on you, man. I'm not going to go easy on no Dark Tron, with all due respect, because I would not expect you to go easy on me.
So you're not going to go easy on him, and you're going to give him what you're going to give the big boss TIP coming up very soon.
TIP is a different entity. TIP, he's got ass whipping written all over him. And by the end of the match, I'm going to swell his little peeper shut.
Well, you know what? I mean, Anthony Steele was cheering you on, and he was rooting for you. I mean, Anthony Steele, it was definitely. I was shocked. What I'm going to remember before we close the show tonight is that Anthony Steele came on here in civil conversation, water under the bridge. It was almost like a ceasefire between you and everyone in the Midwest. That's what it seems like. Israel and Gaza, James Taylor. And who would have guessed? And there's now more possibilities of James Taylor wrestling in places, and James Taylor has come back and has been successful in his return to the ring for the first time in nearly a year. And speaking of other people that I am sure are going to tune in, coming up here tomorrow night, 8:15 Eastern time, where we're going up against the NFL, but Anthony Steele wouldn't want no other way. And that is, of course, the final chief, my final chief, the one and only Il Drago himself. And I can't wait to see what Drago says tomorrow. And I'm finding my footing now, James, as it seems you have too. We are not over the hill. We are just reaching the peak. It would be a banger. Yeah, you know what? I mean, it could be like the Hogan Flair version of the Underground, like in '94. People were talking about, they're old. But you know what? People wanted to see it. Taylor and Kron. Could be. I mean, listen, maybe we'll do a bash at the beach in the EWA, maybe. Maybe we'll do that. Bash at the Tuna Dogs. I mean, bash with Tuna Dogs. Who knows?
That'd be awesome.
Well, I hope for one that it happens. And there's still people that want that match with you. Drago, throw in there. I mean, there's a lot of people. But right now, you've got the Big Boss TIP. And I can't wait to see that. And I can't wait to see Anthony Steele. You should definitely pull up a chair tomorrow. Maybe you should invite yourself for a couple minutes. Maybe you're going to return the favor to Anthony tomorrow.
Maybe.
You should.
If I get an invite, who knows? I might show right up.
Oh, well, you know what? I mean, I'm the guy that puts the link up. So you want an invite?
That's right.
Oh, I'll do that.
Give me an invite.
All right, I'm going to do that.
I'll give him some advice.
Oh, you're going to give Anthony. So you're going to give. So he gave you advice, but now you're going to give him advice for Omen Black coming up. But man, you know very well. You have a lot of history at Omen Black.
I'll give him some advice.
Oh, I can't wait. That is exactly a reason why you should tune in tomorrow. And, James, I got to give you the floor. I got to give you some closing thoughts. And I really want people to go follow you. And I'm going to put the Instagram up, YouTube. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow then here on homecoming weekend. Sean Jovi was here. You were here. Anthony Steele is back, and he's back tomorrow. And who knows what he's going to say. And there can't be no other way until I give you the floor.
Well, Tom, once again, I appreciate the opportunity for coming on here. I just, I'm here to do what I was meant to do, and that's to get into that ring, no matter where it's at. Wherever there's a wrestling ring and there's a set of ropes and there's an opponent in there, you can bet that James Taylor will give his absolute all. And I want the world to understand that. And I'm tired of all the petty drama. I'm tired of all the crybaby stuff. I'm tired of all that crap, because that stuff belongs in high school and junior high and all that BS. See, we're adults. I ain't got time for all that stress and all that crap. I've got a life. I got my wife. I got everything else that's going on. And all I want to do when I get that opportunity is to be able to step into that ring and perform until I say that it's time for me to hang it up.
Amen. Now, listen, you know what? I mean, amen. No, it should really be, the focus should be people do what they want to do, whatever it may be. And if you're happy, I'm happy. And I just want to see everybody live out their dreams. Everybody goes out there and puts their blood, sweat, and tears out there, really for nothing, just for the love of this sport. And that's what we're about. Whether it's All Wrestling Matters, whatever it might be, as long as you're happy, then I'm happy. And other people can say what they want. They're entitled to it. But what I'm here for is to give people an opportunity to talk about inside that squared circle. And if you want to follow what James Taylor is doing inside that squared circle, you can do that on Instagram. You can also check out the Omega Championship Wrestling YouTube page. Hit the sub button for them. You can also follow James Taylor on his YouTube page, because his YouTube page is back. And I still, for the love of me, don't understand what happened with the PWF YouTube page. But we have the Instagram page up.
I'm waiting on it.
I know. I'm aware. I have the PWF Instagram page. I own the Instagram and the YouTube page. I have no idea. But the YouTube page of Taft Taylor is up. Hit the sub button there for him. And follow him on TikTok. And also check out tomorrow's show with Anthony Steele at 8:15 p.m. And listen, I also want to take the time, while I got some people here still, I do want to personally say, although despite I didn't really like those stunners you gave to your opponents and to the Big Boss TIP, I do want to break the fourth wall like I did last night with Jovi. And I want to say thank you to you. Thank you for all that you've done for this platform. Thank you for all that you've done for all the wrestlers. And I'm going to say it while I have a few minutes, because if it wasn't for guys like you coming here, supporting this platform and giving us a voice, giving us the opportunity to talk about what we all love is all wrestling matters, this sport of wrestling, we wouldn't have had on these guys like Rhino, the Man Beast, the War Machine, the last proper ECW champion. This guy, Josie Scott, who only, like I said, wrote the song for Batista and the Spider-Man soundtrack. And all these big names that you see on here. And then, this other guy that everybody talks about from Motley Crue. The founder of Motley Crue, one of the greatest rock and roll bands. I don't even know how they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Mr. Nicky Sixx himself. Heard a clip on Sportswire Radio. All these different people that have come on here, whether they're pros, musicians, rock and rollers, it's because of guys like you, guys like Jovi, guys like Kron, guys like Drago. Guys, yes, like Anthony Steele, guys like Jason Storm were here, CJ Black yesterday, Soldier, all the different people. Omen Black, I'm sure, is going to be back on in the chat tomorrow. Justin Parsley, the Hall of Fame honor. To me, I can go up and down the list of people, but I want to say thank you to you, James. Thank you for everything you've done, and I truly mean it. We wouldn't have the views or the subscribers that those big time guys in the mainstream world, they wouldn't have came on here. They would have just looked and laughed. They would have said Sportswire, wouldn't have gone here. But I want to say thank you, James. Thank you for all that you've done these last 3 years and wanting to come on here, wanting to talk and giving us that chance to have these legends come on this platform and give us that endorsement, the greatest endorsement that anyone can have of all these people coming on here, putting their arms around this platform and saying, yes, this is the only platform in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and all wrestling matters. People can say whatever they want about all wrestling matters. Anthony kind of said some things there. Others say things on other places. That is their right. That is their God-given right. But me, I am all wrestling matters, and I am all music matters. And I think by the people that have come on and endorsed this platform, they seem to agree. And I say thank you to you. Thank you to everybody here that's come on, that's done it the right way these last few years. And thank you to all of the wrestling companies that have been here for the right reasons, and the people here in the chat and everyone that supports. I did want to take the time out and say thank you, James. And thank you also to everybody here. And it doesn't cost a thing to like, share, subscribe, and support your fellow colleagues. It costs you nothing. Just saying, costs you nothing.
And you're absolutely welcome, Tom. The honor is all mine. I do like to come on here and flap my gums sometimes. I do. But, you're a great host, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Because
you did have the Nemesis sessions. Listen to me. The Nemesis sessions, you do have the Nemesis sessions. So,
I do. I haven't used it in a while, but I do. You're right.
Well, listen, and thank you, Mr. Kron, and thank you, Mr. Drago, and everybody else here. And I do want to say thank you to everybody. We'll be here tomorrow at 8:15 with Anthony Steele, who was definitely in rather interesting form tonight. And James, we'll give you this. We'll add this to another accomplishment here from Sportswire. And can't wait to see you on here very soon before Halloween and trick or treat. And definitely you gave us plenty of tricks up your sleeve, and you definitely treated us here to a show that was almost like no other in recent memory. So, James, congratulations on the big win in OCW. We'll see you soon, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow, actually, because you did invite yourself. So we'll see you tomorrow, actually. We'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you. That is the Tyrant King himself, the Nemesis James Taylor, a man that has been here in the backyard and the promo wrestling circuit for decades, but now he has transitioned to OCW. He is the newest member of the roster. He was very successful in his debut match there, and he is gunning for that OCW championship against the big boss TIP. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, we're going back to your regularly scheduled programming. I will be here one more time tomorrow at 8:15 Eastern time with Anthony Steele, the real deal. And boy, will he have plenty to say. That is why you will not want to miss it. So join the conversation. I can assure you it'll be one that you'll remember. And Anthony already made one announcement. He'll probably make more tomorrow. So until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one Global Radio, the Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.